To move this country in the right direction, we're going to need the right progressive candidates, and they're going to need the right staff, but especially thanks to recent moves by the DCCC, it's gonna be hard for them to get that from traditional outlets, and so they need the right sort of trained progressive staff. And we're joined now by Ilona Duverge, co-founder of the Movement School, to talk about how they might develop that. Ilona, welcome to the Damage Report.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, very glad to have you here as well. I just read about the Movement School and The Intercept yesterday, and now we get an opportunity to talk to you about it. So for people who might not have read that article or aren't familiar with it, what is the Movement School?
Right. So Movement School is a program that my co-founder and I, Gabe Tobias, co-founded together. And it's a 10-week program. We built a campaign simulation where the fellows get put into teams in different campaigns, get given different scenarios with their own data, their own mock candidate. And the assignments that are given to them are really made to recreate the process that you might go on the campaign. So post-graduation, these fellows are truly prepared to jump on any campaign that they may want to work on afterwards.
And there's a connection to a past campaign, the campaign of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, correct?
Yes, correct. So my co-founder and I, we developed Movement School while working on the Ocasio-Cortez campaign. It was something so special that happened on that campaign because we really saw the power of organizing. And we didn't have the resources that other candidates may have had in the past. So we really had to train our own volunteers, people from the community on how to do this job so we can win. So we developed a series of webinars that trained volunteers on how to create their own universes, how to do voter targeting, how to talk to voters, the whole 9 yards. And that's what happens when you train people from the community that are actually from there, because they're so much more invested in this process. And they are the ones that truly deserve this training, because a problem that we try to solve with Movement School is that we want to make campaigns more representative of their communities. And oftentimes that doesn't happen. You see a lot of surrogates coming in from all over the country to run campaigns in communities they know nothing about. So in terms of really giving power back to the community and building from the bottom up, we saw that the importance of training community members on how to do this job.
And you've already had one cohort go through the training, right?
Yes, correct. So we just had our first cohort. 40 fellows just graduated about 2 weeks ago, actually the same time that I was graduating from college. So it was a really exciting time. And I'm really, really proud of the cohort. And they're going off to do amazing things. They're working on presidential campaigns, state leg campaigns, starting their own initiatives. Our first cohort was comprised of 82% people of color, 70% women and gender non-binary people, 20% people with disabilities, and 80% people from working class backgrounds. So those are the people that deserve to have these positions, and those are the people that need these resources so they can learn how to organize in their communities and really, really fight for that community power, because we see that when you give power back to community, you get people like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez elected. And here in New York, I was the field director, the regional field director for the Alessandra Biaggi campaign, who she went against Jeff Kline in the New York State Senate. And again, we implemented that strategy, and again, she won because we put community first and we really gave power back to them.
And I have heard that there is a fast approaching deadline to apply to be in one of the next cohorts at the Movement School, right?
Yes, so our deadline is June 15th. So tomorrow at midnight, I encourage everyone to apply, especially if you want to get involved and maybe haven't found your place, maybe are looking around like oftentimes, myself, I ran into this a lot where I would oftentimes look around and I wouldn't see a lot of people that looked like me in this space. So if you feel like you're one of those people, if you feel like your voice isn't really heard, and we have a home for you here at Movement School, and we want to be able to train you so you can be the leader that you're meant to be.
I'm curious too, down the line, is the expectation or maybe just a hope that some of the people you're going to be training to be organizers, campaign managers, and things like that might be candidates themselves eventually?
I mean, the sky's the limit for these fellows. That's this is why I love them so much. And anyone that goes through the program, we really create this tight-knit network. And I believe that the best candidates that launch themselves are activists, are community organizers, because they are the ones that truly understand that the power comes from the bottom up. And it's not just some career politician, or it's not just some career attorney or lawyer, but people that are actually from the community, have been organizing the community, and know the struggles of their neighbors. Those are the people that we want representing us. So I would love if any of my fellows were to actually become candidates one day.
Well, this sounds awesome. As an organization to go along with groups like Justice Democrats and others that are trying to get the candidates there, they need support. This sounds like a great way for them to get it. As you said, the deadline is tomorrow at midnight. I will try to get my application in time. Please be nice to me in that process. But Ilona, thank you so much for joining us. You're doing great work.
Thank you so much again.
Here on the Damage Report, we talk a lot about the big banks and their ways of getting rich off the poor. They saturate the market, but there are other options. And I've got info on a socially and environmentally responsible financial institution that has no ATM fees, gives you cash back on every purchase. They even commit 10% of their earnings to charity. It's called Aspiration, and if you go to aspiration.com/TYT to sign up, you'll get these perks, and that's more money to spend or to save or to spend. Just treat yourself.